NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 297 of the NYYST podcast. We're live on NYYNewsTV. I'm your host, Christian, as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And it's Labor Day, one of the worst days of the year, okay? One of the absolute worst days of the year. Okay. I don't like when summer ends, okay? I'm a big summer guy.
I'm not a big summer guy. I'm a fall guy. Fall and spring.
You are the fall guy. Okay?
I'm a fall guy. Okay.
Okay. Big summer guy. You know, I don't like it. Okay. I get depressed when the leaves change colors.
Okay. You got seasonal depression. Okay.
I got seasonal depression. Okay.
Okay.
And it kicked off early this year because the Yankees, you know, they decided that they wanted to be the worst team in baseball for the last 2 months. Okay. So normally, the seasonal depression doesn't kick in until after they get eliminated. But the way they've been playing this year, this second half of the season, it's kind of hard to ignore it. And even with these last two games here, the Yankees still got some work to do if they want to hold on to the American League East, because the lead remains 4 in the loss column after the Rays beat the Red Sox today.
Worthless.
And the Blue Jays are right behind that 5 games out. I think
they were winning the second game. Yeah,
they swept the double.
Big.
Okay, so they swept the doubleheader against Baltimore. So the Yankees can't let their foot off the gas here. The Twins are in town. The Yankees did take care of business today. They won 5-2. Aaron Judge hit his 54th home run of the year. 2 guys that really don't have any business on. Actually, 3 guys that really don't have any business being on the Yankees all contributed today. Gonzalez and IKF with solo home runs, and Josh Donaldson, who is the biggest jerk off in Major League Baseball. You know, yesterday, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, but it was yesterday's game. 3-0 pitch comes up and in. He draws the walk, and he took exception to it, and he wanted to fight the pitcher. First time in history, I was rooting for the other team to beat the Yankees. Yeah, I wanted to see somebody beat Josh Donaldson's ass.
Wow.
I'm sick of him.
I'm not. Everyone hates his guts. Look, here's my take on Donaldson.
He sucks.
It's not his fault he's here to be the third baseman.
Well,
okay?
It's Wash Donaldson.
Okay, but you know what? Not his fault. I mean, if we had a decent general manager and player, analysis team, scouting team, he wouldn't be.
But you need some self-awareness here,
bro. But here's my thing. If he made a couple errors over the last couple games, if he's not going to be elite defensively, which he has been all year, then he's truly worthless to me.
But you need to have a little bit of self-awareness. Like today, the Yankees are struggling to score runs. We all know it. We've been watching this team all year. They cannot score. If Aaron Judge doesn't hit a home run, they don't score. Okay? They get a big hit in the first inning. He drives in a run. Dude, give me a hard 90 right there. You don't know that ball is out.
Yeah, no, it's not a good look.
Cost him a runner in scoring position right there. Okay. And then he's joking about it, doing push-ups as like punishment when he takes the field. The cuteness ended when the Yankees lead went from 15 games to 4. Okay. We don't have time to be cute on the field. Okay. Just what is it? Friday's game when he was doing barking, whatever the hell he was doing with the pitcher. Dude, you struck out. You're hitting weak ground balls. What are you getting into it with the pitcher for?
Yeah. It's just not a good look right now.
So you could say, oh, you shouldn't be here. First of all, nobody thought he was going to be Wash Donaldson. I think you were down on him a little bit here, but I still think a lot of people were expecting, a 20 home run, 60 RBI season. He's not going to come close to that. He's hitting like 219, sub 700 OPS. That's a guy that's done.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because it's like he dropped off out of nowhere too, because he wasn't bad last year.
So you know what? Cut the antics out. That's all I'm asking out of him. Just cut the bullshit. And Friday, any moment now, his girlfriend's going to give birth to this kid.
Yeah, and he's still here.
Kid don't want to come out. You don't want to know who his father is.
Oh man.
Her, I don't know. Shouldn't assume
I don't know.
These,
I don't
shouldn't
know.
assume these things. You know that, right?
Yeah,
shouldn't assume
can't assume, right? Listen, I don't know what it is. I have hatred for a decent amount of guys in this team. Donaldson, for whatever reason, just isn't one of them for me.
No, he's near the top of the list now. Okay, he's washed up. He's washed Donaldson.
For me at this point, this is how desperate I am. This is how low the Yankees have set the bar. If you're going to be decent defensively, I'm going to take it, because the other guys we got, like IKF, are just, it just blows my fucking mind. They blow my mind.
Well, he hit a home run today.
Great. So what now? He's earned himself another 2 weeks of starting shortstop while one of our top prospects wastes away on the bench.
Should the Yankees advance past the wild card series? He had they shouldn't be playing in the wild card series, I should say. Should the Yankees get to the division series, okay, which really, that should be an automatic. But fingers crossed here. Still, he's earned himself at least until Game 2 with that home run today.
Least, yeah. Well, the first home run got him this far.
Okay. So IKF, but this is what people that defend him, they look at today. Oh, IKF didn't get charged with an error today. Marwin Gonzalez did. Well, you know what? On a routine ground ball, if you're one of the best shortstops in baseball, can you hit a novice first baseman in the chest?
He throws fucking splitters over to first base every time he throws. His shoulder drops and the ball sails. He doesn't stay on top of the ball. He does it deliberately. He does not stay on top of the ball. The ball tails out, and anyone at first base is holding their breath every time he throws the ball. When you have someone like Rizzo or DJ over there, for the most part, he's going to get it. But imagine if this team still had, just for a minute, just imagine if Luke Voit was still over there. No. How many more errors IKF would have?
No.
1 million. He'd have 1 million. And he'd still be our shortstop.
I might have had at that point they might have had to bench him.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So the Yankees, almost the unthinkable. Well, no, I shouldn't say unthinkable, because the way this team has been playing, nothing is unthinkable. But the unthinkable almost happened this weekend. They almost got swept by Tampa. Aaron Judge did everything in his power to make sure that wasn't going to happen. A leadoff home run. He scored the second run of the game. Clay Holmes was shaky in the ninth, and they held on by the skin of their teeth there to get the win. To that win yesterday, I don't want to say that you take your foot off the gas, but it's like you breathe. You could exhale a little bit. The lead stays 4. They lost that game yesterday, and the lead was down to 2. Season as far as being the American League East champs is over, in my opinion. That's how big that game was yesterday.
Well, the most disheartening thing is, outside of the Gonzalez and IKF home runs today, I believe the Yankees have scored 8 runs in September so far, and 6 of them have been Aaron Judge. Really, either he's scoring the run or he's getting the RBI and the run.
It's 5 out of 8.
No, 6. I'm telling you.
The Yankees scored 3 runs today that he didn't score.
That's false.
He hit a 2-run home run.
Okay.
That's 1.
No. I'm saying he's involved in them. If he doesn't hit that home run, they don't score. They don't score the 2 runs. He has been involved in 6 of the 8
You
runs.
said he scored. You said that's what you said.
Either scored or got an RBI and scored.
Typical media.
So trust me. Okay.
I don't trust you. Okay.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
I don't want to answer it.
When is a Judge off day justified? Because it's coming soon.
I don't think they can give him one.
They can't, right?
I think we're at the point right now where they can't give him an off day.
Look, here's what I'll say. There's been one.
He's going to get some DH days, though. I have that feeling that's coming.
There's been one good thing about this whole fucking nosedive. It's that, after 9/11, you felt like the country was actually united, that we kind of had something to stand for. Okay, I feel like right now, after this nosedive, Yankee Twitter is the most unified we've ever been.
In regards
everyone, even the Yankee apologists, are turning on this front office and upper management. There's a few. There's still a few. There's still a few.
There's some holdouts there.
But at this point, I think most of us are on the same page. And they put out a lineup today. Of course they win. Of course they win. And it was actually one of the most refreshing wins they've had in a long time. But you put out a lineup today that just makes no sense to me. I mean, anytime at this point that you don't have Peraza in the lineup, it just makes zero sense to me.
All right, so we'll get into that in 1 second, right? But the lineup today, here's Peraza's up here, should play every day, right? I think we're all in agreement on that.
Agree.
But really, if you look at the rest of this lineup, right? You make an argument for anybody else to be in this lineup that wasn't in the lineup today. Make a legitimate argument for anybody to be in this lineup not named Peraza. Yeah, you can't do it. That's what the problem is right now, is that no matter who they put out there, they're just replacing trash with trash. Even DJ LeMahieu, right? This is the worst. I think he's even worse this last 20 plus games than he was last year.
Oh, for sure. It's not even close.
He was on the precipice of hitting 300, and he's about to drop down to under 260 right now.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So you take him out of the lineup. Does it make a difference? Honestly, does it make a difference that he's not in the lineup today? Because they put Marwin Gonzalez in the game. He at least contributes with a home run. Do you even think DJ LeMahieu is contributing at all to this game today? I don't mean to rip DJ. I love DJ, but the way he's been playing.
I actually didn't mind. I didn't mind DJ sitting. I thought it was going to happen yesterday. My biggest issue, I have two big issues. The first one being Peraza not being in the lineup. I mean, it just doesn't. It makes zero sense. Okay, this kid's here. He's got to play, because then what's he doing here? I'd rather him stay in AAA.
Well, we're gonna get. What's your? I know.
I'm just saying that's one point. The second point is, and maybe we can just work through this real quick. I don't understand where they come up with the order. I mean, how do we have? And I guess it worked out today, but how is Gleyber Torres leading off?
Who should lead off?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should work through it, because I just see it and I am immediately.
Do you want Judge? Honestly, do you want Judge to lead off?
I really don't.
What's your other? I'm not being an asshole here, but
no. I know. I'm saying I'm trying to work.
What is your other option?
I'm trying to work through it with you.
There isn't one. What about
if you're going to play IKF? Why not play IKF? He's batting 260 something.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I guess honestly, it doesn't. I guess everyone's expendable outside of Judge at this point.
Now that Benintendi's hurt, okay, that was a big blow for the Yankees. He cracked the hook on his hamate bone. He's going for surgery tomorrow. They say 3 to 4 weeks, but we're on September 5th already. So I mean, the season is going to bleed into the first week of October because of the lockout. Okay, you get him back for that series in Texas, and he's going to be ready to go for the postseason, I guess. They're not saying it's season ending, but he has one little setback. It is.
Boone's very optimistic that he's not going to miss the rest of the season.
Apparently it's a very common thing.
Apparently Boone had the same surgery.
Yeah, how'd that work out for him?
I don't know.
Pre or post?
I think he said he had it in 2001, so pre. Okay.
So LeMahieu's out. LeMahieu's not playing today because he's been terrible, and no issue with him taking a day. I would even give him a day tomorrow. Honestly, give him a day tomorrow. What are you losing by sitting him right now?
I couldn't agree more.
And then Marwin Gonzalez,
he's an automatic out at this point too.
And Gonzalez had the home run today. He had another at bat where he hit the ball really hard. It was turned into a double play. So maybe something's turning with him a little bit. Why not? But here's what the Yankees won't do. They will not look at that and say, maybe we should give him another day tomorrow, because they don't believe in that type of thing. So if it was just a spot start for Gonzalez, that's what it's going to be. I think honestly, the way Gonzalez played today, give him another start tomorrow. Let's see if it builds into something. You have to catch lightning in a bottle with somebody right now.
Well, Stanton's getting off tomorrow.
He needs off tomorrow.
He fucking fouled the ball off his foot. They said it was just the foul ball.
It doesn't.
Else.
How's he looked since he came off the IL?
Yeah, well, you gotta keep throwing him out there, man. Look, aren't you the guy who says, and I agree with you, that when certain major pieces of the bullpen aren't pitching well, you need to keep throwing them out there because the Yankees need them to be who they're supposed to be. So you can't give up on them. You can't give him a day
I'm not
off
giving
here.
up on. I'm not giving.
Let
up
him keep
on,
seeing pitches consistently, man. He's close. Stanton is close.
I don't see it being close. That's why.
Here's my biggest issue. Who looked pretty good today? Gleyber Torres.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, besides Judge. I mean, it's unreal.
I think
Gleyber Torres actually.
I thought Gonzalez looked pretty good today. I thought Gonzalez had a good game.
Okay, so and I think Torres did too. So guess what? I promise you, Torres will not be in the lineup tomorrow. And it's not even like I can fight it because at this point, I mean, like you said, they all suck. But it's the timing. Nothing makes sense. Torres will be out of the lineup tomorrow. Gonzalez, they should give DJ another day. Which means they probably won't. And you gotta just fuck it. You can't even get mad at it anymore. You gotta just expect it and move on, and hope they win.
Well, Garrett, I mean, the weather's supposed to be really bad tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Garrett Cole's supposed to take the ball. Sonny Gray is pitching for the Twins on Wednesday, I believe. So, I mean,
well, they're already talking about an early postponement tomorrow.
I'm telling you right now, if Sonny Gray shuts down the Yankees, I might shut down this podcast.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I might just put. I know I don't have official rank over you, but I think I'll pull rank and shut down the podcast if the Yankees get shut down by Sonny Gray.
Honestly don't even know if I could argue it. That would be, you know how Aaron Boone said they hit rock bottom the other day? That would be probably rock bottom for me. That would be it. There's no turning back from that.
So we got a couple things that we really want to dive into here. We don't want to be too long. I know a lot of people are going back to work tomorrow. My wife is going back to work. Summer's over. Kids are going to be back in school. So that's going to suck for my commute. You know, people on the road. I have no patience for school pickup people.
I got to drive. I drive 50 miles one way every time I commute.
It sucks.
So the school shit makes it 10 times worse.
It's terrible.
Fucking school.
Terrible. Why don't you
That's just terrible. Kids? I might. I'll make them wear a mask though.
Okay.
Are
you going to require vaccines?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they're good. As long as you're up to date on things.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so the real big news, and if anybody hasn't heard the bonus episode, which normally would have been our Patreon, if you go to patreon.com/NYYST, all the bonus episodes are there. But I don't know. I felt like the bonus episode needed to be on the main feed and on the channel last week, just because of how everything was going down. My bonus episode was recorded before the Yankees called up Peraza. But a lot of what I still said about Peraza still kind of fit, because if you look, we need to dive into the timeline here, right? Oswald Peraza, the Yankees' third-ranked prospect, got the call on Thursday, and it was a very curious call-up because Aaron Boone does a weekly spot on the Michael K show, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he was asked by, the other host, because Kay took the entire summer off. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Where's Oswald Peraza? And he said he's in conversations. He's close. He's in conversations. He could be a player. Blah, blah, blah. So what does that sound like? Does it sound like a guy's going to get called up in 2 hours?
No.
Okay. So Oswald Peraza plays in the Rail Riders game that night. I think they had an early start time, like 5 or 6 o'clock. Peraza hits a home run. Yankee Twitter goes fucking berserk.
Most I've ever seen everyone just go crazy.
Why is this kid down here? He should be up at the major leagues, blah, 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 blah. 20 minutes, an hour later, whatever it was, hugging his teammates. Oswald Peraza is getting called up. What changed from when Aaron Boone was on the radio to that moment in time? Because I think we can safely say this. The Yankees did not intend on calling up Oswald Peraza at any point on Thursday until they actually made that call. There was no legitimate discussion of that happening. So what changed?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. That's what I want to know. What changed? Is Brian Cashman really on social media? Did he really see the outcry?
For sure.
Of the fan base?
For sure.
And this is what the Yankees did, though. They gaslit the entire fan base on Thursday night. Social media team, welcome to the big leagues. This is the Oswald Peraza era, blah, blah, blah.
It's Peraza Day.
What did he do on Friday night? Did he start the game?
Nope.
In fact, when did he make his major league debut? When what? 95%? When 95% of the fans turned the game off?
Yeah, I had to actually text you and see if you were still watching because I wasn't going to be. Because it was 9-0.
So the Yankees, in a game they really needed to win, okay, in a game they really needed to win, get embarrassed, okay, embarrassed. Marwin Gonzalez is out there in the 8th inning throwing pitches, which, I mean, really drop ball by the Yankees there. Aaron Judge needed to take that inning, okay, because then we didn't. Then he would have been the runaway MVP because he pitches too, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
2 outs in the 9th inning of a game you just got embarrassed in. That's when you let this kid make his major league debut.
Despicable.
Look, and we talked about this a couple years ago when Clark Schmidt came into a game to make his major league debut, bases loaded situation. I think it was no outs. The Yankees expected him to get out of a really big jam, and people were acting like his mommy. Oh, how could you do that to him? And we were like, you think he gives a shit?
No, you throw him into the fire in that position, man.
There's a little bit of it. There's a
huge difference.
There's a huge difference between what the Yankees did with Clark Schmidt, who was their top prospect, or at least their top pitching prospect at the time, to what they did to Oswald Peraza on Friday night.
Correct. It's not even comparable. What they did with Schmidt was tell him, hey, man, we really have high hopes for you. I know this is a tough spot, but we think you can handle the pressure.
What were the Yankees trying to do? What were the Yankees trying to do in that game in Baltimore? They were trying to win. They weren't trying to win. They weren't trying to win at that point on Friday night.
Nope.
That was a disgrace what they did in that situation. Oh, you think Oswald Peraza cares? He got to make honest to God, he probably doesn't care. He got to take his first major league at bat. It was a dream come true, right? You or I would never, in any situation.
Here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. No one's talking about this. But I promise you, Boone and everyone knew that his parents actually couldn't make the game that day. So in my mind, I'm going, all right, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world for the kid since his family can't be there, whatever. Then he makes his major league debut. Not only could his parents couldn't be there, it's a meaningless game. Nobody's watching. And they pretty much just sent him out there like a piece of shit, like a piece of garbage.
That's what it is. They let him make the last out of a game that they got their asses kicked in. That's not what you do to somebody that you're expecting to be a cornerstone, quote unquote, if they even believe that. Because who knows what the Yankees believe anymore of your franchise going forward. That's not how you treat him. You think Buck Showalter would have did that to Derek Jeter in 1995?
No. And it's terrible because okay, he has that at bat, pretty much doesn't even know he's getting into the game. They start him for 2 games, and then he's back on the bench. What do you think? What do these people think it takes to get accustomed to major league pitching? That he can just sit every other day? I mean, what do they want? Why do they think their prospects don't pan out? Why? Why do they think? Do they think it's just a coincidence? It's crazy to me, man. And someone just said in the chat before, oh, IKF hit a home run. He'll be back in tomorrow. No, that's where you're wrong. If anything, the home run would make them bench him because that seems to be what happens, right? Guys actually look decent and then they sit on the bench. Again, I'm not going to complain if IKF is sitting. I don't think he should be the starting shortstop anymore. But I promise you, when it makes the least sense, is when they make the move.
So Peraza calls up. He gets what, 2 games? He started Friday. He started Saturday. Started
Saturday
Sunday.
And Sunday.
And he sat today. Anybody? When the lineup came out, was anybody surprised he wasn't in there? He has not looked good at the plate. I mean, he's looked okay defensively. Has not looked good at the plate. But I mean, if this was your plan, this is how you know. I go back to this. This is how you know the Yankees didn't have a plan to call him up because they don't have a plan to play him.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So
what do you think's going to happen to this kid? You think you could just sit him every other day and he's all of a sudden going to look good at the plate?
So you didn't want to trade him at the trade deadline. Obviously, did not want to trade him at the trade deadline. You don't want to play him either. You call him up not to play him. What are your plans for him? This is what frustrates me the most about this organization is that we went down this road 5-6 years ago. Don't want to call these kids up. Don't want to trade them. Doesn't anybody learn from their mistakes?
No, because there's no accountability.
We talk about this all the time. Like Garrett Cole was the one guy that Brian Cashman, to steal a Dave Gettleman phrase, was in full bloom love with. Wouldn't trade anybody to get him, but still wouldn't play these guys. The Yankees desperately need offense right now. Miguel Andujar can't get called up. He's still in Scranton. The Yankees could use a spark anywhere. They don't call him up.
Bro, how many times has Andujar proved he's a major league hitter?
Clint Frazier. Jackson Frazier. Don't want to trigger him, okay? We all know that chapter and verse the guys that the Yankees could have got for him. They designated him for assignment.
Bro, you make a great point with Andujar, man. Especially with Benintendi going down right now. We've seen Andujar play the outfield now. He's a serviceable left fielder.
And you have
why is he not
here?
Why is he not in the lineup?
You can't give Miguel Andujar 2 weeks to see if he gets hot again. Since 2018, okay, he had the tremendous rookie year. Never been the same player. A lot of that had to do with the injury in 2019. And then he's just been inconsistent playing time, right? So let him play. Let him play for 2 weeks. Don't take him out of the lineup. This is why, and I keep repeating this because it blows my mind. They've put Oswaldo Cabrera in the lineup every day. Every day he's played.
Almost every day.
Well, you knew it wasn't going to be 100%, but he hasn't.
Right.
Since he's been here, he's played pretty much every day. What does Oswaldo Cabrera have on the Yankees that he's the one young player that gets to play every day?
Because he's not one of their make or break guys, I don't think.
And Andujar is, Florial is. I mean,
no,
these are all better options. These are all better options than what you're putting out there. And I think this is when I'll say this. When you or my cousin or anybody texts me and says, "Look at this lineup, it sucks," and I look at it and I'm like, "Okay, it does, but what are your other options?" If one of the 9 guys penciled in is Aaron Hicks, anybody on the bench is the option over him.
Yes.
And that's another thing with Aaron Hicks. Is he the only one in the planet that doesn't know he's not good at baseball?
Yes.
Strikes out, throws his helmet on the ground. Like he's stunned. He's stunned that he struck out in that spot. Is he the only one? He's the only one that doesn't know he sucks?
He's a waste, man.
Or yesterday, he hits a weak round ball to second, punches his hand as he trots down to first base. Got to give him points for switching things up. See, he's literally the only guy that doesn't know that he's terrible at baseball. Okay. We should get his email address and send him an application to Topgolf. I hear Edison is hiring. Okay.
Okay.
But I need to know this. Somebody's got to figure this out. All this investigative reporting that all these beat writers do. I need to know this. What happened on Thursday? What changed the Yankees' mind that they had to call up Peraza?
That's the problem, dude. They don't ask questions. They allow Brian Cashman to go out there and still talk about how this team is a World Series caliber team, and they allow Boone to say shit like, IKF's the best defensive shortstop in the game. They just allow it.
I need to know this because you hear this and this. No, I like John Heyman. Oh, when Benintendi's vaccination status is all over that. It was all over that. Why don't you get all over this?
Yeah,
this is a big story. This is a huge story. I don't know if the Yankees media people, the people that get paid to cover his team, think it is. But for me, a fan and somebody that has a podcast and does cover his team, this is a big story. What changed? That 2 hours prior, they had no intentions of calling this kid up, and then he gets called up. Because if he had intentions of calling him up, you don't let your manager go on the fucking radio and say what he said about him. You sure as hell don't put him in the friggin' lineup. What changed?
I mean, it's a good question that I'd love to have answered. A lot of people right now in the chat are talking about Florial, that he can't hit. Man,
do you know that?
Do you feel right? Do you feel confident even saying that? Look, I know Florial can't hit when he's put into games every other day and then sits the bench or gets sent back down. But if he had the same amount of time as Aaron Hicks has had, the amount of chances as Aaron Hicks has had, maybe he could hit. That's the problem here, folks. That's the problem. We've seen the story when we run out Hicks. We've seen it. We know it. We know how it ends. At this point, it can't get any worse. Why am I still looking at Aaron Hicks? Why am I not seeing if Florial can get hot and be a good hitter?
You know why.
It's crazy, man.
All right, so Aaron Hicks has 389 plate appearances this year. 6 home runs in 389 plate appearances. You mean to tell me if Florial got 250, he can't at least match that?
Probably.
And how do you know? And if he doesn't, he doesn't. Then the Yankees are proven right. But your other option is Aaron Hicks. At least it's known quantity versus the unknown quantity. You can't sit there with a straight face and tell me what Estevan Florial is as a major league player, because he's never been given the opportunity to prove or disprove whether or not he belongs here. Has he even been given 10 consecutive games?
Probably not.
Has he been given 5 consecutive games to put anything together?
Pete just said he has 43 career at-bats.
Okay, so there
43.
You go. That's 10. That's 11 games, basically. So in 11 games, and they weren't in 11 games, 2 at-bats here, 2 at-bats here, and at-bat here. You mean to tell me, but just to make simplified things, in 11 games, you can write the book on whether or not a guy's a major leaguer?
Wild.
And I said this in the chat today. If somebody came up to me and said, all right, we choose you. You can ask Brian Cashman 3 questions about anything related to the Yankees from the time he's been here, anything, but only 3 questions and the interview's over. I'm wasting one of those questions on why he hates Estevan Florial so much. I'm using one of the questions on that. What is it about Estevan Florial that you don't like? Because it's not that you have 2018 Aaron Hicks here and Estevan Florial's had 43 at-bats, because if that was the case, who's complaining? After 2018, this guy looked like he was worth every dollar the Yankees were going to pay him. We said on this show, what a smart, that was a good contract. You're locking up a guy.
It was team friendly.
At a very reasonable AAV if he's going to hit 28 home runs and hit 270 or whatever it was that he hit that year. He's nothing but be hurt and be terrible when he does play. Oh, he hit a home run off of Justin Verlander in the ALCS. Great. The Yankees were down 3-1 in that series. Did it matter? All that did was get Yankee fans to hate Aroldis Chapman more than we already do, because it extended the series to allow him to let Altuve hit the walk-off. So fuck you, Aaron Hicks, for that too. Okay?
Okay.
So I need to, somebody's got to give me some, Andy Martino today comes out. Cuckboy Martino says, oh, there's scuttlebutt in the locker room that the Yankees were the team was very upset by the Jordan Montgomery trade. You figure that out, but you can't figure out what the fuck happened with Peraza. That's a bigger story to me than Jordan Montgomery, because honestly, I'm tired of this narrative. And you can say whatever you want about it. The Yankees have not gotten to a fucking free fall in the second half because they traded Jordan Montgomery. Okay, that's just a bullshit narrative, in my opinion. You mean to tell me that if Jordan Montgomery was still here, Wash Donaldson wouldn't be washed? Gleyber Torres would have been first half. Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu wouldn't have hurt his foot. John Carl Stanton would have hurt his Achilles, because with those two players, the injuries is why they've been ineffective. IKF would hit 280. All these things would have occurred if Jordan Montgomery was here. And what has Jordan Montgomery's replacement in the rotation done? He's been good. As much as I don't like Domingo Germán, he's been a good pitcher for this team, giving him a chance to win every time he's gone out there. Even on Friday, he gives up a home run there. Game gets away from 3-0. But if the Yankees are actually able to score, he's maybe not put in a position there to give up that home run, or that home run doesn't hurt them.
I think, if anything, if you're going to attribute anything to the second half, other than just poor play, obviously, if you want to blame anything on the trade deadline, it's that maybe this team felt deflated. A buddy told me a story last night. He was at Astros Yankees when the Yankees were playing in Houston. He lives in Texas. And one of the guys he was sitting next to was buddies with Boone. And he said that night at dinner, it was before the All-Star break, or after that they ended up playing that they played in Houston. It was before, right?
It was right after, because they had they had played a doubleheader right out of the All-Star break.
And you know what he said the guys were talking about at the dinner table? If they would rather have Soto or Castillo, or talking about the guys that they can get to reassure that they're going to be ready for the postseason. And then just really, you pass up on Castillo. Montas has looked a lot better, but maybe they were a little deflated. We talked about it last year, and we gave Cashman praise where it was, give credit where it's due. We thought he did a good job with showing this team he had faith in them and going out and getting guys like Rizzo and Gallo. I know Gallo didn't work out, and right now Rizzo doesn't seem to be the greatest option either. The guy can't stay healthy. But at the time when he made those trades last year at the deadline, he really gave this team a boost of confidence that he felt like they were right there. And he got guys to really round out that lineup and give him a good shot. And this year, it not only did he really miss the ball completely, he also gave up a guy who was beloved in the clubhouse and was really good for this team, for a guy that can't even play for them yet. So no, can you attribute this poor of play to that, to Monty being traded? No. If you're doing that, you're crazy. But overall, maybe you can say this team feels a little deflated. I don't know.
They're not this bad.
It's still not an excuse.
They're not this bad. They haven't been this bad because Jordan Montgomery got traded.
No, absolutely not.
They were trending downwards before the trade happened.
Bro, I'll tell you when everything started to get questionable. It was the first time the Astros came at the stadium. We had our event and they got no hit. And ever since then, they haven't really looked like the same team.
I looked at it the other day. I had a tweet that took off there, and I was looking for the dates. It was really like July 3rd. It was right around there.
And when was our event?
It was like June 25th.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees still split that series, but it was like right after there, when they took that day off, when we were at your house for the barbecue, and they took the day off because they already took the first two from Cleveland, and they took that day off. Since that point, they haven't been the same team.
Yeah, you're right.
So that happened before Jordan Montgomery got traded. Okay. And it's a lot of, to me, it's a lot of faux outrage from a lot of fans here, because every time Jordan Montgomery gave up 2 runs on social media, he was getting ripped and what a bum that he was. So now all of a sudden that he's gone, he's the reason why this team sucks. Okay. I don't buy it. There's a lot more fundamental problems here with this team that we saw before the Jordan Montgomery got traded that are really coming out into the light here, that has really caused this downslide here. And it has nothing to do with Jordan Montgomery. I'll die on that hill. You have nothing to say?
No. I look, man, I honestly have been thinking about it, and I guess we'll never have an answer, because I'm just trying to think, like, what could have changed so drastically? What is the reason behind it? I just don't know. And look, I hate ripping on Boone now, because it's true. When they're playing well, I love Boone, and when they're not, I hate him. But at the end of the day, I just can't figure out. People in the chat right now are talking about when King got hurt. Yeah, that was a huge blow. But again, we're seeing the pitching come back around now. It's been the offense. And I'm a big clubhouse guy, big clubhouse chemistry guy. But at the end of the day, when you're winning as many games as they were winning, yeah, I know it might have hurt to have a guy go like Monty. But at the end of the day, you're still the fucking best team in baseball. You still should have a good clubhouse, mix there. There's just no excuse to be as bad as they are.
If Jordan Montgomery, the Jenga block that causes the whole tower to go down.
Yes.
If he was that Jenga block, then it just goes back to what we've been saying about this team. They're not serious.
Yes.
If Jordan Montgomery's the Jenga block that causes the tower to fall, you're just not a serious baseball team.
Well, here's what someone asked me because I was pretty upset when they got rid of Monty,
and you hate Monty, so
yeah, that's the narrative. Someone asked me, is he gonna make a difference in the postseason? And the answer is no, he shouldn't. At least, like, he shouldn't be the reason why the Yankees don't win a World Series. So at that point, I'm still frustrated that they traded him for a fucking guy who's in a walking boot. But at the end of the day, I mean, Monty wasn't the guy who's going to make or break this team. I'm more upset that they didn't get guys like Castillo. Because honestly, bro, let's just assume and pray that Garrett Cole gets back to being Garrett Cole. And let's just assume and pray that he's dominant in game 1 of whatever game it's going to be in the postseason. Who's your number 2 that you feel so confident about?
I guess Nestor.
I mean, Nestor.
He's fine.
He's fine, right? We got to see, though.
I think he's fine. The Yankees
he's making his next start, or what?
I think the Yankees are going to next week. He'll be in the rotation.
It's crazy, man.
You can do it again. The Yankees you knew the Yankees were not going to let him throw 150, 160 innings this year. So whether he's truly hurt or not is up for debate. He's not hurt. Okay. I think we can all pretty much say that. Maybe he felt something, like he was like, ooh, when you get off the couch and like, ooh, and then you walk away and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
Yeah.
That could have been what happened. And they're like, okay, groin injury.
Yeah. But, I really thought about the Yankees for
because like all these other guys, Stan's going for imaging, Benintendi goes for imaging. Have you ever heard that for a groin injury? You never heard that Nestor Cortez went for any imaging? Don't you think there's something they want to take a look at?
Yeah, probably. Probably. But, I really thought about it, and I said to myself, okay, this team has one of the highest payrolls in baseball. When they can afford to stay under the luxury tax or whatnot, they've proven that they'll go out and spend money on a big player like Garrett Cole, right? But here's what it all comes down to. The Yankees, we talked about their business model of being relevant for as many years as possible, putting fans in the seats, putting out a team that should make the playoffs and see where it goes from there. Maybe they'll get lucky and win a World Series, maybe not. What they're not willing to do is gamble. and take a little bit of a, make a trade that could hurt if they don't win the World Series, because it'll hurt them in the long run. When is the last time the Yankees gave up a big prospect or prospects for guys that would have completed this team to be World Series caliber, but if they didn't win the World Series, would have really hurt them in the long run? When's the last time they did something like that? Why do you think you don't have Castillo? Because the Yankees said, okay, we could get Castillo. He puts us in a much better position to win the World Series. But if we don't, then we're giving up our future. We're giving up our business plan. And they're not willing to risk it. They are not willing to do it.
They don't want to risk. They don't risk it. They don't risk the biscuit.
They will not risk it. Unless you had a crystal ball and can guarantee Brian Cashman and Hal that the trade would result in a World Series win, they will not give up anything that will cause them pain temporarily or in the long term.
Volpe's tearing it up since he got promoted to AAA.
Yeah, I know. He's like 8 for 16.
Call him up.
Why not?
I'm not joking.
He won't be up for 2 years.
I'm not joking.
Bro, he won't be here for 2 years.
That's a fucking travesty.
People think he's gonna be in the starting lineup next year on opening day. He won't be here for another 2 years.
I would, if you're a serious if you're a serious organization, serious, Memorial Day, the latest he makes his major league debut.
I just don't think it. And then what? Sits the bench?
No, I mean, this is you sacrificed everything for him.
Well, here's the thing. Goes back to my business plan, right? Goes back to the business model. He comes up and he's not ready and he fails. Then what?
I got one for you.
Okay.
Aaron Judge leaves. He is the opening day shortstop next year. They will need. They will need.
Oh, for sure.
They will need something to get the fan base off the ledge.
The Yankees are. What's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid, unserious.
Yeah.
A joke.
Yeah. They're whores for excitement. They need. They need something to make up for you. This is what I want to say before, real quick.
I hope that I hope we will never know the answer to this. I really pray to God we will never know the answer to this. Aaron Judge is now a New York Yankee in 2023. Volpe will be the starting shortstop on opening day.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But here's something I was thinking about with the Peraza thing. Didn't it almost feel like Cashman does have burner accounts? He knows how much we were.
I honestly think he has admitted in the past that he has burner accounts.
He did. Don't you think they called him up just to shut everyone up? But really, it was just.
I told you, they
bigger slap in the face.
They gaslit the entire fan base on Thursday night.
It's like, oh, you want him to get called up because we're stupid for not calling him up? Fine, we'll call him up. We're not going to play him, but we'll call him up for you. And then you know what? Maybe if we're down 9-0 in the 9th with 2 outs, maybe he'll make his debut when none of you are even watching.
It's like, hey, kid, here's your Nintendo for Christmas, but I'm going to hold on to the controllers.
Right.
So there's a couple of things we want to get to here. You mentioned them already. Anthony Rizzo, who is maybe Wednesday he'll show up at the ballpark. That does not even include playing. Missed one of the biggest series of the year, and again, he's been struggling. But he also had 2 home runs against the Angels. Don't you think a guy with 30 home runs could have made a difference in a series where you were down 1-0 the majority of the first game, lost the second game 2-1? You think his bat could have made a difference?
I would think so.
Okay, so he's hurt. This is the 3rd or 4th time now he's missed significant time with his back. The Yankees refused to put him on the IL, which I don't have any clue why. Okay, he's already missed, 6 or 7 days. What's the harm in putting him on the IL at this point? Right? So, Rizzo, and I don't want to, again, I always said this in the offseason, I don't want to take shots at Anthony Rizzo. I love the guy. Okay, I do. One of my favorite Yankees. But we know why he's here.
He's here because Cashman's a great GM and he knew that he was the right choice.
We know the reason why Anthony Rizzo is here. He was the cheapest option. Plain and
Correct.
simple. Cost no prospects, which Matt Olson would have cost a ton. And then you would have had to give him the extension. As you saw, the Braves did right away, gave him the extension. You want to know why? Well, the Braves are a serious organization. Okay. And Freddie Freeman got a ton of money. Still way under what I thought the market value was for him. It would have been a steal to get him on the Yankees at that rate. No, he goes to LA. Why? Dodgers are a serious organization, whereas the Yankees aren't. And that's why we have Anthony Rizzo. Again, not knocking Anthony Rizzo. Love the guy. Really do. Third best option, clearly. And it's not even close. And now it's the problem with signing the third best option is you're seeing the issues here now with him, and he's not on the field when you need him the most. Are we even confident that we can have this guy in October?
He's going to be playing through some discomfort. I can assure you that.
The epidural is causing him headaches. He can't even leave his house.
Yeah, like fucking take Advil, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm very deflated right now. I'm happy they won. And the Twins couldn't have come into Yankee Stadium at a better time for this team. But I'm not going to sit here and get fooled by a couple wins right now. I need to start seeing more consistency from a team and an organization that doesn't believe in it, doesn't believe in consistency. So I'm just bracing for the heartbreak at this point and trying to stay optimistic. You know, I love this team to death, but day by day, it's getting more and more difficult to separate my hatred for the front office from the product I'm seeing on the field.
Well, we need to discuss something here, okay? And it didn't make any sense to me in the offseason, and it really makes no sense now. The Yankees have no first baseman in the pipeline. You wanted to tell me you were going stopgap because you had Peraza, because you had Volpe? I don't like it. We said this. We don't like it. We understood it because you had guys that were your top prospects at that position. Yankees have no first baseman. You had two guys that were out there that were long-term solutions. You don't get either. You sign Anthony Rizzo to a 2-year deal. And now it looks like you need to cut the cord there because because of his health. You don't know what you're going to get out of Anthony Rizzo. You see how bad the back was this year. Now Rizzo holds the opt-out. I mean, you really think he's going to take it with an uncertain future like this?
No way. He'd be foolish to.
And again, that was the Yankees doing. You're not going to get mad at Rizzo if he opts in because, you know, is he going to get $16 million on the open market with the way his back is? It's hard to say.
I don't think so.
But this is a very important position. I don't know if the Yankees realize this, but first base is a very important position. And you let two premier guys go in favor of Rizzo on a short-term deal. And what if he does opt out? Who's playing first base next year? This team doesn't fucking think for shit.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's not even just first base, though. I mean, you have so many guys called up or guys on this team that, like, for instance, DJ comes here, multi-time Gold Glove second baseman. He's probably played second the least out of any position. You have IKF come over. He's naturally a third baseman, I believe.
That's where he won his Gold Glove. I don't know.
Okay. He's playing short. They call Peraza up. They put him second base. You got Donaldson, who is there a future there? I mean, no.
They have to. Honestly, he's got to be designated for assignment when the season's over. He can't come back next year.
Correa, thank God, he's been incredible in the outfield somehow, but that's not his natural position. Judge used to be his natural position when he was younger, but he's been in right field for the most part. Now he's in center. Hicks is all over the place because he just sucks regardless. No one has a position. They even fucked with Torres for a while. This team is so inconsistent that they don't even know where to play people.
Well, we were talking
it's unreal.
We were talking about this before we came on here. Pete and I were discussing this. Matt Chapman, Gold Glove third baseman. Where did the Yankees interested in playing him? Shortstop.
Yeah, short.
Yankees needed a shortstop. They were looking at Trevor Story for the trade deadline last year. Were they going to play him at shortstop if they acquired him?
No,
he's
did
gonna
they
play
want
the
him at the
outfield.
outfield? Yeah. Yeah, there's just no consistency, man. Guys show up to the ballpark. They don't know where they're batting. They don't know if they're definitely playing. They don't know what position they'll be. They don't know where in the order they'll be. And you can sustain it for a certain amount of time, but at the end of the day, when you start to hit adversity like this team has, it's tough to overcome it when you don't have at the bare minimum consistency. It's really difficult. People think some people think it's just it's not a big deal, but it is.
So we'll close the show on this. I think now that the Twins are here, we can kind of look at the big trade. The huge trade here from the offseason. Huge. Okay. Because it was all right in front of us today. Michael K even alluded to it. Correa is only there because he even said this out of his own mouth. Correa is only playing for the Twins because the Yankees took Josh Donaldson's contract.
Yes. Yep.
So you have Correa, who, even though maybe not with the bat, is not up to what you would expect out of him this year, although he's been way better than Isaiah kind of Falefa. I think
he's still playing good enough to opt out of his contract.
And that's undisputed right there. You can't dispute that, however you want to say it, okay? Look at Correa field balls at shortstop versus Falefa versus IKF.
Mm-hmm. His arm.
Night and day.
Absolutely.
One guy you feel very confident in making the plays, even and one guy that you don't, because I've never seen anybody field the ball at shortstop the way he does. You alluded to it with the sidearm throw and how you ever watch him? He jabs at the ball when he fields grounders. I've never seen that before.
And the guy does make some spectacular plays too.
Oh, great.
But I mean, you have that issue there. And you tell me, who would you rather have at third base right now, Donaldson or Urshela? Who would you rather have penciled in this lineup, Donaldson or Gio Urshela?
Well, Gio, I mean, if you look at the overall numbers, they're very comparable. I think Donaldson has maybe one more home run, but Urshela's OPS is like 40 or 50 points higher.
Well, his batting average is much higher, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's hitting like 30 or 40 points. So he might be hitting around like 250, 260.
Okay, I'll take that.
And he makes about what, $18 million, somewhere in there, less than Donaldson. You don't think that could have come in handy when all these guys that you can't sign them, we don't have any money. No, but you got money for this.
Yeah,
I think honestly, if you look at it, only the biggest Cashman cuckboy is going to tell you that the Yankees won this trade. The Yankees lost this trade in a blaze of glory. They lost this trade.
Big time.
No longer can you say, well, it was worth it to get rid of Gary Sanchez, because that doesn't tip the scale in the Yankees' favor at all. Because you don't think the Yankees could even use Gary Sanchez's bat if they were smart enough to go out there from the beginning and trade for a guy like Trevino? And have Gary back up Trevino or have them play 50-50?
At the very least, have him as a backup.
And again,
at the very least,
we're not saying, again, it was time for Gary to go. It was.
Yep, 100%.
But if you look at the trade of what happened here, the guy the Yankees really needed, Carlos Correa, is a Twin. Why? Because you took Josh Donaldson. He's washed Donaldson.
The only good thing anyone took out of that trade was that Gary Sanchez was gone. It wasn't about what we got back.
No. And to a man, if you go back on the day the trade happened, if your reaction to it was, at least we got rid of Gary, that means it was a stupid trade to begin with. That from a pure baseball point of view, it was a bad trade. If the most positive thing you could say before any of these guys took the field in 22 was that at least we got rid of Gary. It was a bad trade to begin with. I hated the trade from the moment I saw it.
Now, would you feel differently if the Yankees still went out there and got a legitimate shortstop?
Dave IKF was a utility guy, and they went out there and got Trevor Story, let's just say. Yeah, I feel differently about
even
the
though
trade.
Correa was still available right after that trade. It was a few days.
But this is one of the if you want to all the great things that Brian Cashman has ever did, this has to go at the top of the list of one of the worst things he's done as general manager of this ball club. I'm sorry, there's no positive way to spin this trade.
People are saying it's one of the worst trades in the last handful of years for any team.
The Yankees got fleeced on this, and then Minnesota turned around and got the guy they needed because they gave them a salary relief.
I think that's the worst part. I honestly think it's the worst part.
You can't sit there and tell me in any way, shape, or form that trade has benefited the Yankees on the field or off the field, because Josh Donaldson's a scumbag. He just all he does is cause embarrassment to this team.
I think this team embarrasses itself at this point. I don't know. Like I said from the beginning, I'm not on the hate Josh Donaldson train. I'm definitely.
Well, if he was anywhere near the MVP player that he was a few years ago, you could excuse the antics, but you don't get to act like that when you're.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree 100%. My hatred is just in so many more important places right now than Josh Donaldson, mainly because he's been so good defensively. Again,
that's even kind of slipped in the last week or so.
Yes, he has, but you have too many guys who suck at the plate with no approach and also suck in the field that deserve my attention more and my hatred more at this point, or my disgust. You know, again, they're setting the bar pretty fucking low. For me, looking at Josh Donaldson being an automatic out and saying, well, at least he's playing defense. I mean, it's not his fault he's batting cleanup for the Yankees. The dude's an automatic out batting cleanup in the midst of a fucking nosedive. So does he really deserve my anger? No. I think the person, again, it all goes back to who brought him here.
Okay, fine. Who brought him here? But he doesn't get to act like that when he's this bad.
I agree with you 100%. I'm definitely not going to argue that.
That's why I wasn't totally against him with the whole Jackie shit, because he still had a chance to prove. Now he's proven he's washed. To me, he's proven that he's washed. You don't get to jerk around and not hustle out of the box and then do push-ups like it's some fucking joke today. You don't get to get into it with the other team's pitcher when he struck you out. What do you think? He can tell you what's coming. You're not going to hit it. That's how bad you are.
So I guess since last trade deadline, has Cashman made any good moves? I guess you can argue Benintendi was hurt. Yeah, I thought it was a good move.
It's not his fault. I don't think it's Cashman's fault.
I can't say Montas is a good move, because if you put it in context of who was available, who they should have gotten,
I mean,
he's not the guy.
Rizzo was a good trade. You can't say that it wasn't.
That was the last year's trade deadline.
Yeah, you said. I thought you said, has he made it
since then?
Since then, all right. No, I mean, outside of Benintendi, I mean,
and then you could throw in signings too. He signed Boone, back. He signed who else did he signed Rizzo, which right now, I'm sorry, he's having a good. He's got 30 home runs, which you love, but the guy can't stay healthy.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be a 219 hitter or whatever he is either. So
and the Trevino deal, the Yankees didn't expect this. He didn't trade for him because he knew this was the guy he was getting. He was going to be the backup. He got him for Higashioka's backup.
He shouldn't even be here.
Right.
Again, how did the Yankees fail on that trade? We think Ben Rortvett's in Scranton. I haven't seen him. Have you?
Nope.
Okay.
Haven't even heard of him. One last thing before we wrap up too. October 11th is the next event. Pete, I believe, just posted the link in the chat right now, and you can go to at NYYNews-TV on Twitter. I believe it's just at NYYNews-TV actually. On Twitter, and the tweet is pinned for the link to purchase your tickets.
So somebody asked us a question, and we'll end the show on this, okay? And Ralph on Twitter, okay? Ralph, okay? He wants to know why y'all always so negative, okay? So, okay, Ralph, okay? I hope that you're listening or watching, and I'm going to give you the answer here. We're not negative, okay? If you think we're negative, it's because you're a cuck for the organization, okay? It's the easiest and simplest way I can explain this. I'm past the point of giving the Yankees a pass for everything. I'm past the point of thinking everything is all sunshine and rainbows with this team. If you don't want to hear the truth about the way this organization is run, if you don't want to hear the truth about how they perform on the field, then maybe you want to hear other people talking about it, okay? But you're not going to get that here. You're going to get the truth and honesty. When the team loses 11 games in the standings in a month and a half, what is there exactly to be positive about, Ralph? Huh? How do you want us to spend an hour and a half every week talking about how great Aaron Judge is? Because that's literally the only fucking positive thing we could talk about. We've said nice things about Oswaldo Cabrera because he's been a positive on this team. We've said nice things about anybody. I said nice things about Marwin Gonzalez today. He hadn't had a hit since fucking before the 4th of July. I said a nice thing about him today. So it's not going to be, if you missed the entire beginning of this season when it was all positive, that's on you, bro. But even then, we were still grounded in what we spoke about this team. That said, this team is great right now. They need to improve. And look what happened. They haven't improved. They've gotten worse. And now we're talking about Pete and Francis did all this hard work to set up this event on October 11th because when all the planning stages went in, it was a slam dunk the Yankees were starting the postseason on October 11th. We don't know that now. So what do you want us to be positive about? Did you want us to be positive after they lost the wild card game in 2021 and they brought Aaron Boone back without even thinking about it? You want us to be positive about when the guy that made me look as stupid as anybody? I touted this guy all season, the SMD tour. It's the fuck Christian tour. That's how bad he's been this year. What am I supposed to be positive about? I'll be positive when the Yankees give me something to be positive about. If you don't like hearing the truth about this team, then this is not the podcast. This is not the channel for you to be watching and listening to, okay? This is what Pete gave us a tagline when we started, real talk for the real fan. You want to consider yourself a real fan? Or listen to the real talk about the New York Yankees, okay? We're going to tell you what we see with our own eyes. We're not going to sugarcoat shit anymore. It's past that now. You know, Chris used to call me the Yankee apologist, and there was years we sat on the show and I tried to stay positive and I tried to rationalize everything this team did. I can't do it anymore. I cannot sit here and do this anymore and rationalize what the Yankees are doing because what they're doing is unserious. You take chapter and verse of everything that this team could have done, and they don't do it. So what do you want us to be positive about? If the Yankees are going to win a World Series this year, it's going to be a parade of positivity here. Then because we'll have something to be happy about. But right now, we don't even know if they're going to hold on to this American League East lead. And you want us to sit here and be positive. So, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts out there that paint everything with a rosy brush. You're not going to get it here. You're going to get the truth here. And if you can't handle the truth, then go listen to somebody else.
Get the fuck out!
I don't know. You got anything you want to add to that?
No, man. That's you fucking said it perfectly. You got to just hope. Look, doesn't mean we're not going to sit here and still be hopeful that this team can put something together. Okay? Just because we're calling it like it is doesn't mean we're sitting here saying that it's impossible. But shit needs to happen. It needs to happen quick. Because I promise you, the run that the Rays are on right now.
Who is this?
That's Garrett Cole.
Every time that son of a bitch takes the field, every time he takes the mound for the Yankees, I'm like, this is it. This is the fucking start. This is the start that's going to get him off on that run that I've been yapping my fucking mouth about all offseason. And what does he do? Throws a fastball right down the middle of Shohei Ohtani, ruins the entire game. Oh, but IKF made the error. You know what? I said this in my bonus episode. You're the ace of the fucking ball club. Put them on your back for once.
Judge does it.
Okay, but I'm supposed to be positive. Oh, he was really good, except for he gave him a 3-run home run to Ohtani, but it's not his fault because IKF made an error. You're Garrett Cole. Put the team on your back. Get this guy out. But I'm supposed to be positive, though, right?
Unreal.
I'll be positive when there are things to be positive about. So, and if you want us to, like I said, you want us to spend the next episode, the entire hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, talking about Aaron Judge, hey, that's the only way we're going to be completely positive about this ball club, because other than that, there's just not a lot going on right now. You want it here? I'll give you something positive. Your fucking boy, Jonathan NYYST, has got his shit together. Okay.
Yes.
Looking like a real weapon out of that bullpen again.
Absolutely. Yanks fan just gave us a super chat. Thank you. He said, Ralph, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
But unless you got anything to add, we'll take it. We'll go home here.
I'm ready.
Again, thank you very much for your continued support of NYYNewsTV and the NYYST podcast, episode 297. We're rapidly approaching 300. I'll try to figure out something. Maybe we do something a little special for the 300th episode in a couple of weeks, but we'll get there when we get there. The Yanks are going to continue this series with the Twins. As we said, the weather is not supposed to be good at all tomorrow, but Garrett Cole is scheduled to take the ball tomorrow for the Yankees. Herman against TBD on Wednesday, and actually Sonny Gray is supposed to take the ball in the finale for the Twins on Thursday, and the Yankees are TBD that day. So we'll see what happens. It looks like we will probably get a doubleheader in here somewhere, because I don't think we're going to play tomorrow. But I sat around waiting for rain all day today, and we really didn't get anything until just now. So who knows? Okay?
Who knows? Okay?
Who knows? So thank you very much for everybody in the chat. If you're still here, before we sign off, hit that like button. Subscribe to NYYNewsTV. Over 11,000 subscribers now. So thank you, everybody, for your support for the channel. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Let's go. Let's bring that 4.6 up a little bit. I don't like it. Okay, there's definitely some cuck boys out there ruining our rating. Okay. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week. And Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.